Hi everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do a little bit of a chill get ready with me while also answering some questions about myself that you guys asked me over on Instagram. I'm so excited to start this journey and I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started with some makeup. I do have a grad party to go to and I haven't been wearing makeup unless I have somewhere to go, like important. I haven't been filming this because I haven't had any reason to put on makeup. My makeup is still packed from traveling. I got back last week and I'm leaving next week. Let's just start right off the bat with some questions. I'm gonna be looking over here because this is where my mirror is. I don't feel like putting my hair up because I just got it redone today. If you see this black line, I have naturally dark hair, but since I started dyeing it blonde years ago, it likes to leave my head sometimes. I just go back in with a dark brown every once in a while. But it looks like I have a wig on. I promise I don't. It's just because I got my hair dyed today. I'm not going to say the products since I am answering questions, but I'll try and put them up somewhere on the screen for you guys. First question: where were you born and raised? I am actually where I was born and raised right now, Amarillo, Texas. I was born here 21 years ago. Lived here till I was 18. I always thought this was such a small town. I was like, oh my gosh, I live in one of the smallest towns ever, until I grew up and realized that this really isn't a small town. It is a medium-sized town. Granted, of course, it's not like New York City or Dallas. There's some small-ass towns out there, and this is just not one of them. A lot of people actually know what Amarillo, Texas is, surprisingly. Moving on. Next question. What is your Starbucks/Dutch order? Fun fact, I didn't start drinking coffee until my first cruise contract a couple years ago because I would find myself being a lot more anxious and jittery every time I had that amount of caffeine. Once I got it through my system a couple times, then my body was fine and I figured out how to like coffee. I am really basic and I have been drinking most recently sugar-free iced caramel macchiato with oat milk from Starbucks. And then whenever I go to Dutch, one of my new favorite things is a medium iced caramelizer with protein milk. Hello, changing the game. Protein milk, love that. It makes it extra creamy too. I love the protein milk. It is pretty expensive, but I think it's worth it and it's great after like a workout or dance, whatnot. Next question: what content creator course are you taking right now? So I've said a little bit on my Instagram that I've been taking a content creation course online. I've always wanted to do this, but I just never thought I was good enough to do it, and I knew I had the content, but it's just editing and producing and posting it everywhere. That's where I was doubting myself. After I stumbled upon It's Modern Millie on YouTube, I signed up for one of her webinars online. Her webinar was about making money at home, like virtually. I was like, I need some of that in my life because I wasn't on contract at the time and it's hard to make money when you're off contract. I decided that I wanted to start whatever this content creation course is that she offers. It's called The Modern Influencer, and boy oh boy, I did not think that it would get me to where it is right now, and starting first position and growing my own brand and starting YouTube. And now I'm just planning so many things left and right that I'm so excited for. And my content is about to get crazy. Oh yeah, it's called The Modern Influencer. You can find it over, you can actually find it in my description below if you are interested in any sort of course about being a content creator. But honestly, she has a lot of free downloadables and I think mini courses and webinars that you can choose from, and they're all amazing. I have these two Rare Beauty blushes and I don't know which one I want to do. I don't know if they'll mix well together, but we're gonna try it today anyway for the filming. This one I came up with myself because I'm trying really hard not to talk about Just Dance on this Get Ready With Me, Get to Know Me, because that's not all who I am. It does seem to me sometimes that it is what I identify as. I identify as a dancer, but really I'm much more than that, and I'm trying to portray that I am more than just a dancer, because if dance was taken away from me, I'm still a person, and I'm trying to advertise myself as more than just that. But this question I think is really funny. It literally just says muggle jobs, question mark. I have worked retail and in the restaurant industry before I got a contract. I did work little jobs here and there in Amarillo. I taught dance to little 3-year-olds, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. It was for the money. All those kids, I just don't love kids. That makes sense. I did that for a while because I was homeschooled, so I had lots of time on my hands. And then I also helped my parents up at their business quite a bit. Other than that, I wasn't fully employed anywhere here in Texas until I went to Las Vegas. My first job was there at a little restaurant called Rachel's Kitchen, which was so yummy. I actually really missed it. Not the job, but the food. And I worked there for a while, and when I was working there, I started working at Lululemon. I already had a Lululemon addiction before, but now you should see the amount of Lululemon clothes I'm giving away, trying to sell. So yeah, I did Rachel's Kitchen, Lululemon, and then I got a contract. Next question. One thing I cannot live without. This is kind of hard because I want to say my dogs, because that is quite true. I cannot live without my dogs. I leave them for very long periods of time, but every single day I'm asking for a picture of them. I can most definitely live without my phone. I actually prefer not having my phone, and I love days like when I'm at sea that like I can't get any service. I'm like, it's fine with me. It's just now that I'm starting this whole new journey, I kind of have to be on my phone a little bit more, which is okay. It's just my screen time is just going a little more up than I want it to. Let me think. I think I'm just gonna have to go with my dogs, or a dog in general. I've been on ships for the last year and a half, and there's some ports where you don't see a dog. And then there's some ports where like you get off and you see a dog every single time. And I just need dogs in my life, no matter if they're mine or if they're somebody else's, or if I see them from a distance, or if I can pet them. I just need to have a dog because it just brings me internal and eternal happiness when I see one. So, dogs in general. Doesn't have to be specifically my dog. I would love it to be. I would appreciate it if it was my dog. He's perfect. Love you too, Lulu, but Rex, nothing compares. So my answer is I cannot live without dogs. They just make the world a better place. All right, next question. Am I a morning person or a night owl? I feel like I used to be a morning person when I was more in school and I had a tight routine. But nowadays I feel like I'm way more a night owl. And I find myself being more productive in the evening time. My last contract would have shows 6 nights a week, and I wouldn't finish until like 12, 1 a.m. every night. And then we didn't have anything in the morning, so that was our time to catch up on sleep. I feel like my contracts have made me into more of a night owl because that's really the only time social things are going on around the ship. I would say night owl. I do stay up. I try and be asleep before or around 12, but that usually does not happen. I doom scroll till about 2 in the morning. I wish I could wake up at 5 a.m. and get my day started and go to sleep at 8 p.m. I will, one day. I really will. Next question is, what is your sign? I mean, Take your guesses now. What do you think? What's my sign? I'll give you a hint. If you didn't know, that is the sign for a fire sign. So out of the fire signs, which one do you think I am? Take your guess. If you guessed Aries, you are 100% correct. I am an April Aries, April 16th, and I'm not ashamed of it. Never will be. I fully resonate with everything an Aries is. If you know, then you know. That's all I have to say about that. Next question, while I'm doing my eyebrows. I totally meant to put powder, bronzer, and blush on before I did my setting spray, but here we are. It'll still work. Anyways, next question is, do I have any siblings? No, I'm an only child. That's a lie. I do. I have an older brother. He is 23. He'll be 24 in December. He's one of my best friends. I love him so much. He just recently got engaged, if you saw my other YouTube video. And I love his fiance. She's the best. And so our family's growing. I guess I have 2 siblings, sister-in-law and a brother. And he lives here in Amarillo, but loves to come visit wherever I am. And I love having him. He comes on my cruises and we have a grand old time. I do miss him a lot when I'm working. We have a lot of great memories together and we're gonna keep making them. Love that man. I'm not liking these brows at all. It's actually getting so hot in here. If I look like I'm sweating, it's because I am. Next question, what are my most used apps on my phone? Let's see. I would say since Instagram is already like timed out for, we just got sent a video. Lulu didn't bark. That's kind of crazy. Anyways, I would say my most used apps are Instagram, TikTok, and it used to be Netflix, but I think my number one used is honestly Outlook, my email. I check my email probably like 20 times a day. I'm not even joking. Especially when I'm like submitting and waiting for a response. It's just, if you know, you know. I check my email 20 times a day. And I'm so anal about having emails. I know people can have like 100,000 emails at a time. Each one of those emails has to go into a folder, and if they're not in a folder, then they get deleted. That's probably my most used apps. Of course, TikTok. I be doom scrolling at night, but I try not to spend too much time on it during the day. And then other than that, on my laptop, I'm on Safari quite a bit, using different websites to help grow my brand. What is my next question? Next question, I would have had such a like concrete answer, but now it's been changing quite a bit. The question is, what are my most used photo editing apps? And I was a VSCO girly through and through, so I was always editing on VSCO. I could be wrong, but I think I used C3 for every one of my old Instagram photos. You can go down and see them. But nowadays, I am a full Tezza girl. Love that girl. Oh my gosh, her Instagram. Thrive for my life to look like that. Her husband is so good looking. Her child is gorgeous. The fashion, the pictures, the editing, it's just so good. Along with Tezza, I've started using Lightroom for a lot of my like studio shoots. And then I think this is new. I could be wrong. I've just figured it out that there's a Photoshop Express app. For those two, you have to have an Adobe account. So I would say number 1, Tezza, and then number 2 and 3, Lightroom and Photoshop. They have really good presets on there as well. I am sweating. Sweating. Next, my favorite place to travel. This one's hard, but I think I said it once I went there, and I think it's still to this day my favorite, and that is Rhodes, Greece. Everyone's like, Santorini, Mykonos. No, those ones are nice. They're just really small, really windy, and then really crowded. Granted, I haven't experienced the nightlife, and I know the nightlife on those islands are supposed to be top tier. So I would think it would be different if I stayed overnight on those islands, but as of now, Rhodes is the most beautiful Greek island to me, and it just has a mix of everything, and I would go back a million times. And the next question, I'm running out of questions. What is the last movie I saw in theaters? This is kind of embarrassing because I want to say it was Challengers, because if you haven't seen that movie, go see that movie. I was watching the trailers, I was like, they could have chose some hotter, good-looking guys. They did not miss. They knew what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing with those two men. I can go on and on about this movie, but it's not the last one I saw in theaters. It was a Star Wars movie, an old Star Wars movie. I couldn't even tell you which one it was. Return of the Jedi? I don't know. My brother wanted me to go with him, and I said yes. And I laughed the whole time because it is old and the editing is funny to me. Okay, now it's time for a short story. Look at these two things. You think they're the same thing? They are. I found my favorite palette ever. Major Dimension 3 matte eyeshadow palette. But do you see this? I got it literally at the end of last year. And this is what it looks like now. Two whole eyeshadows have fallen out and made a complete mess. I reached out to their customer support and they couldn't do anything for me, sadly. But it's fine. I love it so much. I bought another one. That's what we'll be using today, and I'm going to keep the packaging because I need to travel and I need to bring this with me, but it just, I don't want it to break. I haven't used this one yet. Are you ready for this ASMR? You're gonna see my janky camera setup. I just kind of don't want to take it off. It's like one of the best mirrors in a palette I've ever seen. Ready? Beautiful. Nothing turns me on more than a clean mirror. Well, we're back. That's hilarious. That's the last sentence it got me saying before my camera died. Anyways, as I was saying, this palette, it is perfect. Each color. And then the two gel colors, black and brown. Amazing. Have we been listening to the new Billie Eilish album? Hello? I keep listening to it and it gets better. I swear it gets better every single time I listen to it. I listen to it and then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's pretty great. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's the greatest. No pun intended. I mean, hands down, my favorite one is the French one. Don't ask me to say what the name is. I couldn't say it. We're gonna do a little bit of the gel. I want to show you exactly how I use it. I know this is not a complete makeup tutorial, but I want to show you. I'm gonna take the brown little gel. It's just so much easier than a liquid winged liner. And I just take it from the corner of my eye and I make a little wing like this. And then I just go into the middle of the wing, close my eye, make a straight line, fill it in, and then bring it a little bit further into my eye, not all the way to the corner. And it doesn't matter if it's messy because we're going to buff it out later. Then after that little liner, I'll take a dark brown shade on a smaller brush and I'll first pat it where I put the eyeliner, and then I'll just use that and buff it out. Make sure you don't go too far under the wing because then it defeats the purpose of the sharp line. My camera died again, so we're gonna have to go super speed because I think all of these batteries are biting the dust. You can't buff too much in this instance. You just keep buffing. And then if you need to, just go right back in with that liner brush, because obviously this one's a little longer than this one. So I'm just gonna redefine the bottom, bring it out. Take the same color and put just a tiny bit on the outer lash, just like this. I'm not a professional by any means, but I have been doing my makeup since I was 7. So I do pride myself a little bit in it. The last question I have on my list as of now is the best concert I've been to. I've been to many a concert. I am a concert gal. I started going to concerts when I was young with my dad. He's the best. I would say my favorite was probably either Harry Styles, Olivia Rodrigo, Coldplay, or Rex Orange County, honestly. Damn, Daniel Caesar was good too. I don't know if I can pick a favorite, honestly. They were all so good in their own ways, but I think overall Harry Styles had the best show and the energy in the room was amazing. But I also love a show that has dancers because it's all I watch. So Olivia Rodrigo's concert was pretty amazing with all of the dancers. I loved watching them. I love Olivia, and yes, I was bawling my eyes out, but also when the dancers were on stage, that's where my eyes were. I stopped the filming and finished up. I just did a little bit of highlight on the inner corners, touched up the face, and then did my lips. But yeah, I think that's all for today. I am so excited to finally post a little sit down video, and I plan to do way more of these in the future. So if you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below, and make sure to check out all of my other social medias, and then also the link to my bio for pretty much all of these products. You can just go click on those, and I will see you guys in another video. XOXO.